Yep.
Hello, my name is Katie Chavez, and today I'm going to be talking to you about caffeine and the human body. So caffeine over time, how caffeine affects you. So according to the American Academy of Sleep and Medicine, it takes about 30 to 60 minutes to initially get caffeine in your bloodstream, and then 3 to 5 hours later, about half of the caffeine that you had consumed, so say you consumed a cup of coffee, which is about 125 milligrams of caffeine, half of that will be still in your bloodstream 3 to 5 hours later, and then it's still in your system 8 to 14 hours later. And so caffeine can have a long-term effect on your body. It definitely is different for different people because of genetics. But that's usually how long it stays in your body, is about 18 to 14 hours. It's a very small amount, maybe like 10 to 20 milligrams, but it's still in your system 8 to 14 hours later. So, an overview. Am I qualified? I am a college student. I drink caffeine. If I could have an IV linked to my arm with caffeine in it, I would. So, approximately 54% of Americans over the age of 18 drink caffeine on a daily basis, and so I am one of that 54%. So also we're going to be talking about the mind, the body, physically, and overall health, and how caffeine affects that. So caffeine in general, so how much is safe considered to, studies have shown that about 400 milligrams of caffeine is is a safe amount to have in your body every day. So that's approximately 4 cups of coffee per day, 10 cans of Coke. That's the amount of caffeine, not that you should drink 10 cans of soda, because that's a lot of sugar, but that's the amount of caffeine to show. And then energy shot drinks like a Red Bull or a Monster is 2 cans, so that's about 400 milligrams of caffeine. So how it affects your mind. So caffeine is a mild stimulant, and the definition of a stimulant is an agent as a drug that produces a temporary increase of the functional activity or efficiency of an organism or any of its parts. And so it suppresses the mind in a way. Brain scans have shown that there's no link to a circuit of dependence. Caffeine is not an addiction. Technically, it's just a habit, and so there's no form or link to addiction for caffeine. It helps reduce the risk of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, especially in women. There's haven't been a whole lot of studies, and of course they need to do more to fully understand this, but it reduces the risk of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's for your mind, so you won't have brain loss and whatnot. It can cause insomnia if consuming 500 plus milligrams of caffeine every day, and so most of this PowerPoint will be of good side effects of caffeine. There aren't many negative side effects to drinking caffeine unless you go over that 500 milligram plus mark. So your body physically, for sports, it's another good effect. It's an aerogenic effect. It improves capacity to do things like exercise. It releases more calcium in your body, and so therefore your muscles are able to do more work. With aerobic exercise, just like running and things like that, you're able to do, you're 3% more likely to be performing better. Anaerobic exercises, they haven't done a whole lot of studies on, but it has a varying effect. And the myth of dehydration, they're like, oh, well, if you drink so much caffeine, you're going to get dehydrated because you're not drinking enough water when you're exercising. That's not really true. Studies have shown that caffeine consumption is the equivalent found in 5 cups of coffee does not cause dehydration, because a regular black cup of coffee is about 95% water, and so there's no myth to really dehydration, though the best thing when you're exercising, you should drink just plain water. Overall health, so abstaining from caffeine can help you fall asleep easier. Of course, if you drink massive amounts of caffeine, your body's sleep cycle is going to be thrown off, and you don't want to drink caffeine if you are trying to make up for sleep, because that's definitely not a good thing. Studies have shown that strokes, it has a positive effect for women, so women are less likely to get strokes if they drink a regular amount of caffeine. And since caffeine usually bumps up your heart rate and gets your mind activated, your blood pressure does not go up if you drink or consume any caffeine. So conclusion, caffeine in moderate amounts is really good for you. It can lower diseases like, lower the chance of diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And so it's just really overall good for your mind, your body, and your overall health. So some interesting facts. We might not be drinking as much coffee as our grandparents did. Almost 50% less, actually. So I know when growing up, my grandfather would have a cup of coffee with literally every single meal, maybe two, and he'd just have the pot of coffee going all day. Don't be fooled. Drinks such as Red Bull and Monster have half the amount of caffeine as a regular cup of coffee, and even some black teas, like English breakfast or those kind of teas, have as much or even more caffeine amount as a regular cup of coffee. And so teas are usually better for you because they're herbal and that kind of stuff. They're more natural. And while a drug in your brain while you're when you wake up, it's called adenosine, is blocked when you drink caffeine. Dopamine, the happy drug, is released, and so you're happy when you drink coffee. And so there's some interesting facts. There's my citation page. And, yeah. Thank you for listening.